Hey guys, Shaine here from GTRU. I will be working alone today, being that my brother Jacob is at work today. So, you know what? Let's just jump right into the main thing I want to talk about, which is The Walking Dead's mid-season finale and how it goes along with the comic books, seeing theories of what might happen this next coming up season. Let's get started. So, Deanna's death in the mid-season finale is different than the one in the comic books. First off, the comic book, Deanna's name is Douglas, and is a male who dies shooting a bunch of zombies, goes down in a blaze of glory. In this show, she was bitten, and the group waited it out with her until the walkers overran the house, which is kind of dumb. Seriously, like, I understand that she brought you into the house, but honestly, no, not brought you to the house, brought you to the community. Basically said, Rick, hey, this is our community. Well, actually, my community, my husband's community. We want to let you in because you seem like a good bunch of people. I know you've been on the road for a while, but you know what, Deanna, I'd rather you have died with a blaze of glory as a fight, just shooting all these zombies with everyone else, and then going out maybe bullet to the head. I don't know, but you know what? It would have been really nice to see how exactly they would put it together. But let's move on to number three. All right, so number three on our list would have to be Ron. Well, he was never a threat in the comics compared to what he is in the show, being that he's like ready to freaking kill uh, Carl from doing nothing. Well, spoiler alert, Carl gets his eye shot out in the comic books, but it was by Douglas, or Deanna, if you want to say. And, well, Ron might be the guy that might shoot him in the eye. And, well, that actually would be pertaining to the show very well. Well, I'm sorry, pertaining to the comic books very well. But honestly, spoiler alert as well, Rick was supposed to lose an arm throughout this show, and he never got it. Well, never got his arm cut off. So I don't know if they're going to be doing a lot of gruesome stuff. They do some gruesome stuff, but that's just the walkers. Nothing serious. All right. Well, let's just hope that they do some gruesome stuff like how they do in a lot of other zombie shows or zombie movies. But let's continue on to number four. Okay, so now the wolves. Let's talk about these guys. These guys were actually supposed to be completely different from how they were in the comic books. The wolves are actually an interpretation of another group of survivors Rick and his group fight, but they're different. The comics, they attack straight forward like the wolves, but they don't actually end up getting inside the walls of Alexandria. Unlike the wolves in the comics, they the noise actually drew them to Alexandria, such as the walkers. But they never actually got in, which is weird. Which actually made the episode really interesting, being that Carol got to kick major butt of these wolves, and we got to see a little bit of side of Morgan. We got to see exactly how he was as a person, how his character was, and I think he actually played out really well. But I wish they kind of did something different with the wolves, being that they were not supposed to be such a bad group. Well, that's a lie. They're supposed to be a really bad group, but you know. Well, let's just move on to number five. So this is one of my favorite little things, favorite parts of the show that actually pertain to the comics really well, and it was having to do with after the credit scenes where Daryl, Abraham, and Sasha run into the survivors, and the guy literally says the exact same lines from the comics where he says, all this stuff is Negan's, which that was awesome. I was blown away about how they actually put that into it, and I was just really excited about how we're actually going to be able to see Negan, being that Negan is a total a-hole, and he just kills just for fun, basically. Well, let's just move on to number six. This is where Morgan ends up dying during this Walker invasion of Alexandria. Whether that they will happen like in the show remains to be seen. Because, Morgan seems to be really close with the rest of the cast, and, well, he is part of the cast. It's just that he's new to the cast. Well, you know what? He is not new to the cast. He is originally the original from the cast, but he's just brought back. So I think they're going to keep him alive for a little longer. I don't think he's going to end up dying from the Walker invasion. So, let's move on to number seven on our list. So now we talk about Sam and Jesse's little boy. Can't really remember the name of the kid, but if you guys remember the last part of the episode, he ended up calling for his mother. He kept on saying, "Mom, Mom," and everyone was like, "No, why are you saying that?" Well, the viewers were saying that. Well, in the comics, it seems as if they're going to try to pertain to it, being that the boy gets himself and his mother killed by making the noise in the comics, and it seems as if the same thing would happen in the show. In the comics, Jesse grabs a hold of Carl to try and escape, but the walkers get her, and Rick is actually forced to cut off her hand to save Carl's life. So it would actually be really interesting if they did that, if they actually cut off Jesse's hand. Uh, Again, back to the gruesome stuff, I don't really think they're going to do that. Being that it's that kind of show that they do on AMC, sure, I get that. The AMC is one of the more lenient channels. They really don't care what you do. Just make sure that you don't really do drugs or legit drugs. Well, I can't say that either because Breaking Bad was all about friggin' meth. So, you know what? It's a possibility that they could do this. But you know what? Let's just move on to number 8. So now let's talk about Glenn. I know in this season we saw Glenn basically die and then he's back alive. Hey, look, he's still alive. But this is actually really bad, in my opinion. Well, everyone here at GTRU's opinion. It's bad being that it puts him in danger of being killed by the infamous Negan, who we know will be making an appearance this season. And his debut in the comics is actually when he kills Glenn in front of Rick with his barbed wire bat known as Lucille. This bat, honestly, I just don't even know what to tell about this guy. This guy and his bat are. He's insane. He's actually worse than the governor. He doesn't leave the jarred heads in the fishbowl. No, he doesn't do that. He just kills for fun and takes what he wants at any cost. So, oh, plus he has like military weapons too in the show. It looks like. Oh well, his crew does. I can't remember exactly if they do in the comics, but we'll get back into that later when we talk more about The Walking Dead when it actually comes back on. But let's move on to number 9. All right, now let's talk about when Daryl and Dwight were chased by the survivors in the show. Well, we hear them telling Dwight that he owes what is due, which is another heavy reference to Negan, who is obsessed with making everyone his bitch, basically, giving him all their supplies, meaning it's like Dwight owes Negan something. Whether it's true, it still remains unknown. But you know what? That might be the reason as to why he grabbed the motorcycle. He could probably be like, "Hey Negan, here, this is for you. I'm really sorry, yada yada yada." But you know, it's a possibility of what might actually come of this. So we're just hoping that Negan is portrayed as the character he is in the comics as he actually is in the show. So, from talking about that, let's move on to our last part, number 10. Now to finish things up, let's talk about the part where the Alpha Wolf takes Denise, the new Alexandria doctor, the woman, hostage in the TV. It was actually made part of the series. It's not really part of the comics. Well, it's actually not part of the comics at all. It's going to be really interesting exactly what they're going to do, being that Denise is a big help to all the wounded who are like hurt from the Walker battle. It's also going to be interesting to see if she's going to be the one who saves Carl from getting shot in the eye, being that she was the one who saves him from getting shot in the eye. This is all speculation. We're all hoping, though, that a lot of the comic book theories and the TV show theories that go on here at GTRU, we open them up more so that you guys are really interested in exactly what we're talking about. Guys, last thing I want to basically explain is that everyone here from GTRU really enjoys putting out these YouTube videos and really like to talk to you guys about these different things, such as Call of Duty or even The Walking Dead, or even these shows or stories that we get. We'd like to get some feedback. We'd like to hear what exactly you guys want to hear and more. Well, this is all for today. Just wanted to say thank you guys very much for watching our episodes. And don't forget to please comment, like, and subscribe. Also, for new videos, give us feedback so we know what to put out. All right, that's about it. Talk to you guys whenever. Later.